entertainment will be transformed.
Oh, weep, grog now, weep, nitty bong, my fellow addicts. This is TFA 1024, the Transformers Addict, coming at you with yet another TFA review. And this time, coming all the way from Singapore, we have the Transformers Bumblebee Energon Igniter Shatter. First off, let me thank Ashiaka from TFW2005.com for hooking me up with this beautiful lady. I was honestly ecstatic at finding out that we were finally getting a figure of her in some way, shape, or form, because while we are getting not many figures of her, we are getting a Titan changer of her, which is for her Harrier jet mode, and now we have an Energon Igniter figure for her in her Plymouth satellite mode. And I could not be any more ecstatic. So thank you very much, Ashiaka. I really do appreciate you getting this out to me, and I was very happy to get it early. Now before we take a quick look at Shatter, let's go ahead and take a quick look at the packaging in the new fashion that we've been doing. So here's the front. Here's the side showing off Shatter with her battle mask. Here's the other side just showing off Transformers Authentic logo in like an 80s fashion. And here's the back with your obligatory product shots, gimmick demonstration, transformation steps, and more. And here we have Shatter in her vehicle mode, which is apparently a Plymouth Satellite rather than a Plymouth Roadrunner GTX. So I guess, I mean, hey, it looks like the car in the movie / trailer, so I'm fine with it. I absolutely love the red and black. Red is my all-time favorite color, for those of you who didn't know, and the black just really accompanies it really, really well. It actually has a nice little bit of a blend going on right here near the back fender. And it just looks really nice. You know, for paint and everything on this thing, it's very limited because this is made for younger kids, so I'll give it some slack. But I will say I absolutely adore and admire the metallic silver painted on the front of the grille of the car and the exposed engine, as well as the very nice Decepticon insignia tampographed right there near the rear bumper and 722. I wonder what that means. That's a Thew reference to me and you. So, now unfortunately, because I'm just kind of dumb, when it comes to transforming this thing, I'm not getting into transformation yet, but be careful of paint chipping, because what I tried to do was I tried to come under here with my fingernail and just lift that up, but what you're supposed to do is you're supposed to push this whole thing down, this whole back section explodes. And yeah, there is a little bit of paint chipping on mine. Can't really see it all too well, but it's right here where my thumb is. And that's just my fault, really. Another thing I will complain about, for the most part, is this little dividing section right here. I think they could have found a way to just kind of make it more compact. But for some reason, it's just right there. And I do understand why, so I'm not going to gripe about it too much. Now, of course, the wheels are functional and allow her to roll in vehicle mode, as cars should be able to do. And yes, since this is an Energon Igniter figure, she is one of the characters to actually have a core propulsor, which is interesting, or an Energon Igniter. Now, for the gimmick demonstration, like I said previously, what you're supposed to do is you're supposed to push down on this section right here, and this makes everything just kind of explode. And this opens up like so to reveal some beautifully red painted boosters, as well as some guns coming out of the side. And I think this is basically just a pullback gimmick. I saw Prime vs. Prime's video review on the dropkick of the same caliber, except it didn't come with a core for some reason. But you're just supposed to plug it in right there, and you will hear it snap in. And you can just... And she just rolls. Whee! So yeah, that's the Energon Igniter gimmick. I will admit, I do like the whole, like, extra engine in the back sort of thing to kind of just, I don't know, shoot more Energon to her fuel tank or whatever. I do like this. I love the translucent red. And I think a lot of kids will actually enjoy this. So for a quick size comparison, here is Shatter next to the Transformers Bumblebee, Bumblebee's Greatest Hits Target Exclusive One-Step Bumblebee, based on the repaint of the High Octane Bumblebee from Age of Extinction. And you can see they're relatively the same size, so it's not too bad. But there's that. From the same box set, here she is with the Titans Return Rumble, Frenzy, whatever you want to call it. And yeah, obviously it's going to be a little smaller, but you get a good sense of scale right here. And I think a lot of people are going to be excited to see this one. Here she is with the Transformers Studio Series number 18, Transformers Bumblebee. And honestly, this is pretty good scale in my personal opinion. I know a muscle car is somewhat bigger than a Volkswagen, to my knowledge, but the Volkswagen was a pretty big car back then, and honestly, this works really well. I'm pretty impressed with how well this works. Like, if this is a Studio Series size Shatter, I think it would work a lot better with this, but because of what it is, I'm happy with it. I think it works. You know, I could see this thing pulling up next to you and be like, you know, I got a bone to pick with you, Bumblebee, and then try to crash him into something, but he'll probably like half transform and be like, oh no, what, how did you do that? Anyway, so with all that out of the way, let's go ahead and get Shatter, by the power of stop motion, from looking like this to revealing the Decepticon triple changer within. Right off the bat, yeah, she does have a lot of kibble. She's got like a little bit of junk in the trunk with that booster butt. She's got her whole front of her car as her feet. But where I will say this figure shines is the metallic silver and the gunmetal gray. There's a lot of nice molding detailing all throughout this figure. It just looks really good when you get it in hand. You know, if you're just looking at it through the video, it's not going to do proper justice, and that's not a lie. You know, I'm looking at it, and it just looks really good to me. Painting and molding on a figure are kind of a high point for me. If they don't have it, well, that's unfortunate. But if they do have it, kudos. That's a good thing. For a very simplistic toy, though, her transformation is actually a lot of fun, and a robot mode doesn't look too bad. But it could have been a little better. However, this is aimed towards younger kids, so I'll give it a pass. Now, for a brief size comparison, here she is with the Bumblebee's Greatest Hits One-Step Changer Bumblebee, repainted from the High Octane Bumblebee from Age of Extinction. And you can see the scale. You know, she's a little shorter. Bumblebee is just a little, you know, he's a little bigger, wider. Let yourself go, Bumblebee. Jeez. Here she is with the Titans Return Rumble. Rib Fur represent. I'm sorry. I had to. I didn't have to. I just wanted to. You can see the scale between those two. He's a little shorter compared to her. And that's fine. And then here we have, and yes, I transformed this for you, so please be grateful. Here is the SSVW number 18 Bumblebee. And I think this actually scales really well. Granted, whenever we get the Studio Series Dropkick, he's going to be a bit bigger compared to Bumblebee. And we have yet to see what Shatter looks like standing next to Bumblebee. So, I think it's safe to assume she's going to be relatively bigger than Bumblebee, because Decepticons are generally bigger than Autobots in the film. So, there you have that. And she can actually hold weapons if you really want her to. She has like 5mm port connections in her hands, so she can actually hold her weapons pretty well. Again, if you want to have her hold a weapon. So there you go. Also, going briefly into articulation, her shoulders are on a hinge joint, as you can see right here. Mainly for transformation, but you can get her in a pretty cool, like, punching pose. Her elbow is also on a hinge joint, so yeah, again, punching pose. Like, yeah. It's pretty cool. And her legs, her hips mainly, only go in and outwards. So you can kind of get her in some pose if you really want to. What I'd like to do is I kind of like having her about to, like, sweep kick someone. Like that. But, you know, it's your toy. Pose it however you want. So there you go. There is that. So my overall thoughts on Energon Igniter Shatter is, while she's a pretty simplistic toy, she is a fun one. Granted, she's not aimed towards us teen and adult collectors. She is aimed towards the younger demographic, that is, kids. But I still think kids can even get a lot of fun out of her. The whole Energon-infused engine pullback gimmick is actually a lot of fun, plus it's pretty cool, if you ask me. I was a sucker for that type of thing when I was little, and I'm pretty sure if a little kid got this today, they'd be pretty happy with it. The vehicle mode is where this thing shines at one point. I absolutely love the Plymouth Satellite mode, granted not officially licensed, but it just looks really good for what it is. The transformation, granted simplistic, again, is very fun and somewhat satisfying to actually transform a figure with only a few steps within like a few, not even a minute. which is great. Now, the robot mode, while it does suffer, it does look pretty good for its first attempt at this design. I think it could have been a little bit better and benefited if it had, I don't know, maybe like a ratcheted hip, just for transformation's sake. But I can see why they didn't do it, because it would compromise the whole Energon Igniter gimmick. And unfortunately, that's what Transformer figures do. They sacrifice certain points of articulation for better cohesiveness in one form or another. Now, as a recommendation standpoint, I would say definitely pick this up for a little boy or a little girl who likes Transformers. As a general collector's standpoint, only pick it up if you are a car enthusiast that likes the Plymouth Satellite form, or if you're just a very easy-to-please fan like myself, who just wants a figure of a character that you don't have or a design you don't have. Because while she's not necessarily a necessity to your collection, she is a very fine addition to it, as well as to your Movieverse toy lines. So by all means, feel free to pick her up if you want to, because I recommend, so you can decide. And once again, I have to thank Ashiaka from TFW 2005 for hooking me up with her early. I really do appreciate it. Thank you so much for shipping this all the way from Singapore. I'm so glad I actually got her, and I'm really happy she came in such good condition. Thank you very much, Ashiaka. Guys, go check him out on TFW, check out his Shatter finding post, and just give the dude some support. Because without him, this review would not be possible. So once again, Ashiaka, thank you very much. I really do appreciate you. You are a TF addict for life! With all that being said, my fellow addicts, there's only one thing I have to say. The Triptychon video review is going to be postponed because this is a secret, so don't tell nobody. I have more Bumblebee toys coming on the way. Stay tuned. And now with all that out of the way, that's pretty much all there is to say, my fellow addicts. So this has been the video review for the Transformers Bumblebee Energon Igniter Shatter, and I want to thank each and every one of you for watching. And please remember, my fellow addicts, until next time, to get addicted, stay addicted, and TF addicts for life! This is TFA 1024, the Transformers Addict, rolling out to all are one. I know I said Triptychon was next, but after those trailers, let's just say I joined the buzz. See you next time!